All right.
Now? Hi, I'm Ken.
Hi, I'm John.
And
we're all about tools.
Well,
That's a corny intro.
it is, but we're corny to begin with. So, we'll talk about this in just a minute.
We'll talk about corny.
But it would be great if that had been corn. We really want to welcome everybody who's here tonight.
Welcome.
Last week was a bit of an adventure. John walked off the show. I tried to walk off the show.
Yep.
But we had a lot of people that called and they commented about that they thought that was one of the funniest things they had seen.
That's right.
One customer even called us up and told us he would rather watch us than watch television.
That's right. Now that's pretty sad.
He's got no life. But really, we try to be informational. We try to be fun.
Absolutely.
And really, guys, this is all for you and ladies that are out there, because talking about tools doesn't just have to be boring. It doesn't have to be just technical. It can be just a blast. And
that's right.
And wait till you see some of the junk that we have coming down the pike, because it is not only funny, but
we got some cool stuff.
It's scary funny.
One of our vendors is making a new oven for us, a solid surface strip oven. Mm-hmm. Same manufacturer that manufactures our clamshell oven, and he's going to send us one, and we hope to have it on the show in 2 weeks. We're going to demonstrate that.
So we'll be cooking with our new Easy
We'll
Bake.
be cooking, right? So we're going to get some pizza and warm those up at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And now tonight we had scheduled all handling equipment.
Correct.
And somebody forgot to call the manufacturers.
No, didn't forget. Just ran out of time. So anyway,
nothing came in for the show.
But where that leads us today is this can of refried beans is supposed to represent.
The first thing that I thought of was, hey, it's a bait and switch. So this will be our first bait and switch episode. So I forgot to pick up the bait, and all I had on the shelf was refried beans. So this is our bait. This is the switch. This is the bait and switch episode.
So as you can see, the humor still continues to be very poor around here.
Absolutely.
But anyway, but really, we do have a lot to talk about tonight, and a lot of great things. And we are still going to talk about some handling equipment. One of the things that we really wanted to take this first segment and talk about was something that you've really seen many times on the show, and it's this mark-on table.
Yeah. We have quite a few people that have called and said, you use the table on the show all the time, but you don't really talk about the table. Mm-hmm. And we just kind of lost track of that fact. So it's not even up on our website, as a matter of fact, but it will be this week. So we're going to talk about it, and it's manufactured by MC Machinery.
Okay, and they're out in
California
on the West Coast. So one thing to bear in mind when you buy one of these, unfortunately, there's just freight involved, especially if you're here on the East Coast, getting it.
But if you live on the West Coast,
over here, if you live on the West Coast, this is great.
That's
or anywhere in the Midwest, it's even better.
Right.
But this is a phenomenal table. We've used it quite a bit. We used it in the infamous hanging from the rafters series when you. When you almost killed yourself because the board.
You could actually
twisted.
use this to commit suicide.
If you wanted to.
But don't try that at home, please.
No. Only trained professionals do a lot of this silliness.
That's right.
But we really want to take some time and show you how this thing is put together. It's actually, it starts at $6,000, I believe?
It's right around 6,000 range.
And usually we don't say pricing on the show because we archive these programs, and these really could run for years. So keep that in mind. That's just a starting point, because one of the things about this table is it can be really built, customized to your needs.
That's right.
And this is a stock table right here.
That's correct. They actually they made this one for us special. It's a little bit smaller than someone would actually purchase it, but it's good size for what we're doing.
Marcon in general makes a lot of handling.
Well, it's not Marcon. This happens to be by MC Machinery.
Okay.
It's another company entirely. Same people, but they're kind of making some switches on what they're manufacturing and what they're not, making some internal changes. So it's MC Machinery, but we know them as Marcon from years ago.
Okay. So I talked with Conrad today, and once again I want to thank Conrad. He's a great guy to to talk with. And he gave me a lot of information about this handy-dandy table. And so let's go ahead and let's begin to take the table apart. Not literally, of course, but we're going to show you some of the things that really make this table unique. One of the things which John can show you first, go ahead. How does it go?
It goes up and down.
It goes up and down. How far down does it go? Can you give me a height from the floor?
It goes down to 9 inches.
Exactly, 9 inches down.
I remember that. Yep.
And as you can see, the table can support weight without any trouble at all.
Right.
Although, I mean, I'm only a couple hundred pounds, so it's not that big of a deal. But the
this
table
will actually lift 2,000 pounds.
Well, come on up here with me. Let's see what it'll do. You've got the controller.
Look at that.
Absolutely, nope.
Can't keep it down. Look at
Kind of
that.
scares you a little bit, though, doesn't
Yeah,
it? Makes
very
me nervous.
Yeah.
Um,
What's the height of this?
It goes actually all the way up to 42 inches.
42. Very good. Okay.
42 inches, which is really, when you think about it, is an incredibly comfortable working height.
That's correct. But
42
now, if
inches.
you're working on, but if you're working on like base cabinets or something like that, I know we used to have an assembly table that was, we put like 6 sheets of particle board. Where are we here? Oh, we put 6 sheets of particle board on concrete blocks, level it all, because you want a nice flat surface, and this is flat to within a 1/16, I believe. And we used to use it in a low
position to work
because
around.
you're working around it. But there were times when it would have been nice if it would have risen up, so kind of like rise to the occasion, you know. And
You're good at that.
that's right, absolutely. But
You can
seriously, to be able to work on these different heights is a big advantage. Different people in the shop are different heights, and believe it or not, I mean, this works well with handicap fabricators as well, and we have a lot of handicap fabricators out in the industry, and this would allow them to work at a table at their own height, and then a person that's not handicapped to come in, raise the table, and work on the next shift or alongside them or whatever, you know. So
Now, I know you've told me that when you were doing cabinetry, though, the ability to move it up and down to work on the cabinet from on top when you needed to, but to also raise this up and you could work on the bottom of the cabinet without any trouble.
or countertops or something small, something that's low to the ground, you know, just to get it up, and you're not bending over constantly and you know, having back problems and things like that. So
And
that's kind of
fatigue is really a problem, especially in the cabinetry industry, woodworking, countertops. The more you're forced to bend over and work, the more your back begins to fatigue, and of course it tires you out.
Right.
So something like this, even though once again it does have the price tag that it has, when you think of its ability to move your work around for you, and
Oh,
make it easy to
absolutely,
work
absolutely.
on,
And,
it actually
what does a
pays
guy?
itself
What is
back.
what does it cost when a guy gets hurt? When he throws his back out because he's bending over all day? It's difficult to put a price tag on pieces of equipment that help you produce work. I mean, guys have to spend more time thinking about what their fabricator or their employee really needs to do the job well. It's not just a matter of good pay and a good work environment. It's the right tools for the job so that he doesn't go home, you know, beat and broken at the end of the day. Seriously.
And I know Conrad had told me that.
Who is this?
Mr. Markham.
Hello, Conrad.
Anyway, I'll
Hey,
keep
well,
going.
we got Conrad on the phone here. How you doing? Are you watching us on the show? Cool. What's going on? Oh, the top end price. This is Conrad, and the top end price is $4,400. So that's loaded.
Oh,
All right. And what's the base price on these? Around 4,000. So you're looking at 4,000 to 4,400. Great.
oh.
All right. Super.
Well,
All right. Great.
Conrad, John told me the 6 before, just so you know.
Okay. Well, I was thinking it was higher, but no, that's great.
So that's a
quite a
great
bit of
deal.
difference. So 4,400. But well, thanks for calling, Conrad. Okay.
you see,
See, this is the
somebody
beauty
does
of
watch the
live
show.
internet, isn't it?
It's a great thing about live TV. You get
It worked
corrected
out
right
fine.
then and
Thanks,
there.
Conrad. Nice talking with you. All right. Bye-bye. Well, that's one way to get a correction in a
That's
hurry.
right.
Okay, so
The,
4,000 to 4,400. My mistake.
But
He was probably panicking, thinking, "Oh, we're never going to sell them things."
But, well, Conrad says he's got hundreds of these out in the field.
Yes, he does.
And that they have been really well received. And once again, when you look at it, just from how we've used it on the show,
Right.
And we've used it in all different positions. We've used it to hold doors, to demo several different things. this table is incredibly versatile.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the features. Now, this is electric hydraulic.
Correct. It's an electric motor
Okay.
with a hydraulic pump attached.
All right.
So we can...
Does it need much maintenance at all, do you think?
You know, from what Conrad says, it requires nothing. This thing will just go
It
forever.
just goes forever.
Now,
okay.
the,
so let's take a look underneath here if we can.
Got the hood up?
Yep, we got the hood up. We've got an electric motor here. And
Which
this is your
what's the
reservoir.
voltage on that motor?
110.
110. So the great thing about this is you can plug it to any wall socket.
Right.
And it not only powers the motor,
It
but
also has outlets on both ends. to
so
work the
it'll
tools.
power the whole table.
Okay. So what we have here is we have the electric motor right here. We've got the reservoir here.
Which is a 3-quart, I believe.
Right. And it's kind of hard to see from this angle, but you've got your hydraulic cylinder on that side. And that raises it up and down. This is 3/4-inch steel. Everything else is made out of 1/4-inch angle and plate. It's really a durable product. It really is.
Correct. And right here we have this is actually the hydraulic pump.
Okay.
So it's a very simple system: electric motor, hydraulic pump, reservoir, and piston. And it's a simple scissor lift.
Exactly. So there's very little maintenance on it, I guess. You don't really have to keep anything done to it. It's got air hookup here. So you
on
bring,
both ends.
You bring air to the table on both ends. Actually, you're hooking up with air, and then these are air outlets to hook up
Correct.
hoses.
Correct.
You've got, right here, we've got a separator. And this little button here works this clamping mechanism here, and that closes tight so you can put a board in there.
Now, actually, we want to show...
Right. Now, the way this actually comes, one thing that we want to tell you is that this doesn't come with the wood components.
No.
You're only shipped just the steel. So you would have to put a piece of melamine on the deck. This piece of MDF is here, and this could be any particular type of wood. This piece you slide out, and actually let's take that right out and slide it on top. This is a piece that Conrad made up for us because he figured we probably wouldn't get time to do it. But this just is 2 pieces of wood. There's a groove down the center. And the groove actually fits over this hydraulic cylinder here.
You want me to extend that for you, John?
Got it, right there.
Okay.
All right. So that slips over there, and what that does is that holds it in position to push it forward and backward. And this comes with 2 cylinders, but you can have up to 5 cylinders installed on it. Great machine. Let's see, what else can we talk about on this? One thing nice about this is you can put a piece of wood in here. You want to extend those back? I'm sorry. You can put a piece of wood in here and work on a small piece of wood up on top. Let's say you had a piece of solid surface, for instance, for some reason. You could clamp on this right there. Go ahead. All right, that holds it tight. And then you can put this to whatever position is comfortable for you to work on it. If you want, you can take it all the way to the floor, work on doors, large panels, wall panels, things like that. So it's really
Just
a very versatile machine or machine, tool, whatever.
It's available with up to 5 hydraulic
cylinders,
if you
right.
want cylinders. And it will work on material as wide as 2 inches.
Right.
Another thing that's really cool about these two, go ahead and say what you're saying, and then I'll
The cylinders, I believe, can all be set up to work individually, too. So you can have 2 stations. Conrad is just great at making things custom. So if you want it, and you said, Conrad, I'd like the table, but I want 2 cylinders at each end, both to work off a separate switch, he'd be happy to do that for you. Mm-hmm. You can really do whatever you need to do because they are a custom shop.
Mm-hmm. And this right here will handle material up to 2 inches wide without any trouble, which really for most shops is gonna take care of just about anything that they may have. Now, another thing that I was impressed with, too, this is a scissor lift on this, and once again, it's solid 3/4-inch legs. There you go. I needed that. Thank you. And one of the great things about it is this thing will lift 2,000 pounds.
Right. And we were going to put something on here that weighed 2,000 pounds to show you, but we couldn't lift it onto the table.
we tried.
We actually tried. We've got another neat little device here called a shoulder dolly, and we actually were stupid enough to try to lift our tractor with it over there with the shoulder dolly, and we thought we'd pick that thing up like that, and
But
we really couldn't budge it.
We did not. We did not.
You know.
Now, one of the other things that's cool about this too, and we didn't mention that, But right here, this, even though there's only one switch for raising and lowering this.
Sure. You only need one.
Well, but Conrad was smart enough to take, and as you can see, I'm
It's
completely at the other end
long
of the
enough
table
to work
now.
at either end, right?
So he made it, and we've got this on here. We could even extend it further.
Right.
But this cord is long enough to where it will easily work anywhere around this bench without any trouble.
So on this end, we have an extension cord right here that plugs into this end. There's a pigtail hanging off the machine and off the table, and then there's also an air fitting here to just put your air to it. So you just simply hook it up, and you're good to go. And I have a leak in this hose, so, if I set it just right, it doesn't leak. There we go.
So we have, and once again, you pointed out that there's the air separator on here, or actually not the air separator, the water separator on this end.
I saw in your notes here something about it should be bolted down. Did Conrad recommend that it be bolted to the floor?
Correct.
Because
Actually,
obviously we can't.
If you look right down here on his angle iron feet, there are holes. Because of the weight that this is designed to carry, once again, 2,000 pounds, because it's designed to carry so much weight, Conrad doesn't just feel, but he was really rather insistent. He understands our application, but he's very insistent that it is prudent to bolt these down, because if you got something more to one side than the other, or had something in the trough, and there was a lot
Especially
of
if it's
weight there,
clamped. Yeah, that's right.
exactly, it could actually cause the table to fall over. And given the weight of the table, once you started that kind of motion, if you had it all the way up at its full height and a lot of weight on one side, you could really be hurt badly.
You know, I just happen to think, too, since this comes with no wood on it, a welder could make a fabrication table out of this by putting a metal top on it and have clamping area there, good grounding area for welding and what have you. So that would be another application for
Once
this
again,
table.
and Conrad had pointed that out to me, it's actually designed to overlay into many different industries. So we know it'll work in the wood. We know that it would definitely work in stone.
Right.
Once again, if you had a surface here that could
Oh,
that could
yeah,
handle the
stone
moisture,
it would be great.
easy to deal with a lot of weight very simply.
Yeah.
So we know it works with stone, solid surface laminate, cabinetry, metal. You know, you think about, I don't know how practical it would be in like an auto body shop. Maybe if you had an engine on it, and it was on here some way, just to move it and work on it.
Be great for snowmobiles and motorcycles too, to just lift them up and work on them.
Somebody mentioned, I think you did at one point, talk about wanting to put your motorcycle up on here and goof around with it. But then again, you wouldn't be the first person to put a motorcycle up on stands.
All right.
But I know it's just about time for us to go to break, if I'm keeping track of the clock.
I don't think we've missed really anything. We have 5 minutes. How can we have 5 minutes? It's 20 minutes after the hour. No, we didn't start late. Now, we don't have 5 more minutes to talk about this thing. All right, so we're going to go to break. And if we missed anything, Conrad, give us a call back and let us know that we've missed something that you pointed out for sure. I don't know. Probably.